Forspoken is one of the bigger AAA games coming out later this year, and a game I've been looking forward to for quite some time. Originally meant for a May release, this title recently got pushed back to October the 11th. What's up Supreme Team, you here Arekkz Supreme, and today we're looking at the info surrounding Forspoken and asking the important question, will it be good? Now before I get started, this is more of an opinion piece, so let me know what you think in the comments and any other games you want me to take a look at in the future. Now firstly, let's get some housekeeping out of the road. Forspoken is an upcoming action RPG being developed by Luminous Productions and published by Square Enix, set to release October the 11th, 2022 for Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 5. Forspoken follows the journey of Frey, a young New Yorker transported to the land of Athia in search of a way home. Frey must use her newfound magical abilities to traverse sprawling landscapes and battle monstrous creatures. Now for a little backstory. Forspoken was originally a demo called Project Athia, and even that looked amazing when I first saw that. A next-gen open-world action RPG, which I think would be a pretty important stepping stone for Square Enix and open-world action RPGs as a whole. Now who is making Forspoken? Forspoken is being developed by Luminous Productions, a team that consists of people who previously worked on Final Fantasy 15, a solid game in the Final Fantasy series, not my favourite, but it's up there. Apart from working on Final Fantasy 15, there isn't much of a track record for these guys, so Forspoken is being labelled as Luminous Productions' debut game. Now Final Fantasy 15 was a good game in its own right, so I think that gameplay wise, Forspoken will be on the right side. Square Enix is publishing the game, and as you all might be aware, they produce some hit or misses. You've got Nier Automata and the Final Fantasy series to name a few off their hefty roster, but then you've got Babylon's Fall and Balan's Wonderworld, which are both recent bombs that didn't exactly do too well. Very bad if we're being honest. Now just based off trailers, everyone knew Babylon's Fall was going to be trash before it even came out. Going off Forspoken trailers, I'm thinking it's going to be a lot better. Babylon's Fall also had another thing where they actually borrowed assets from Final Fantasy 14 and put them in Babylon's Fall. Now I don't think that's ever going to repeat itself, but you just never know. Next up, gameplay. So gameplay will be in real time, no turn-based here. Forspoken is more spell and sorcery focused than just your typical sword and shield melee style. Usually, magic has a more support role in most games, but considering this is the main arsenal of the protagonist, this is going to give us a fresh spin on the combat. On top of that, you've got an emphasis on fast movement and parkour, another interesting addition for an action RPG, where the norm is usually running, dodging, and jumping, and that's about it. These two elements alone will add some uniqueness to the gameplay, and I believe if it can be pulled off well, then the gameplay will be a real treat. The only thing I can note is that the protagonist Frey seems to speak more frequently than needed when in combat or just moving around. Hopefully they will adjust this before the final release. Forspoken is being marked as open world, but you never know. Final Fantasy 15 was open world until you got shoehorned into a linear story in the end, and some people hated that, and those exact same developers are working on this game. Speaking on the open world, the big thing to note is hopefully this world is not too large with nothing in it. Considering Frey will be running around a lot, the world may need to be wide and open in order to showcase her quick speed, but hopefully not too empty. Hopefully we aren't just running from point A to point B with nothing in between. Story I think looks interesting. They even have brought on a writer, Amy Hennig, from the Uncharted series, which provides a good frame for the story. A quick overview of the story is, Frey, a lady from a modern world, is transported to Athia and ends up involved in their world struggles. I mean sure, it's not groundbreaking as we've seen this person from another world every now and again in video games, but from what we've seen, I think we'll be okay. My only main problem is the protagonist. Not sure if the whole wow I have superheroes now will get old fast. I can see what they're going for here, but time will tell if over the top one-liners will get old quick or not. Also considering how they seem to be trying to throw a comedy spin in as well, with Frey talking to her bangle, it just seems like this whole world around her is serious, whereas she might not take it so seriously, which then makes for a weird mix and provides an inconsistent tone.
Oh yeah, I'm talking to a cop! Did I just do that?
We did.
I just moved it with my freaking mind!
Graphics wise, I'd say they're going all out here. I mean this will be the example of what Square Enix can do on next gen consoles, and I don't think they're going to be taking any shortcuts with this one. Honestly, the only letdown I can think of would be the story. Not necessarily just because of the protagonist's personality in conjunction with the serious look of the world, but just because Square Enix can sometimes drop the ball out of nowhere, or just make very weird decisions that make literally no sense. Anyway, we have a lot of good elements here, but I think the story is the most likely aspect to flop. Now all in all, to summarise, gameplay, check. Graphics, check. Developer and publisher, the odd big miss, but this one seems like they won't be pulling any shortcuts. Story, hopefully check. Overall, I'd say we're looking at a good game here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Forspoken will land at 89 on Metacritic. Good, but just missing that mark, but hopefully to show Square Enix they are on the right track with this new IP. Anyway Supreme Team, this is just my own opinion, piecing together what we've seen and what we can speculate. How do you guys think Forspoken will do? Any other games you want me to look at? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like or subscribe if you like this video, as it really helps me out. Thanks guys, you've been watching Arekkz Supreme.